Hey guys, what is up? This is Oksana with Craft More Design, and today I'm going to show you guys 10 foolproof ways to style your bookshelf for that perfect uncluttered look that's very inviting and very airy, and it will make all your friends say, "Oh my gosh, girl, that looks beautiful. Can you show me how you styled those shelves?" All right, let's get to it. Tip number 1. Go ahead and empty out your bookshelves. Get a clean canvas to work with so that you start with a blank slate. Tip number 2, go ahead and look through all the inventory that you have throughout your home. That way you're not spending tons of money shopping for more items. So see what you have before you do all your shopping runs. Tip number 3, work with a color palette or a inspo pick. We all go on Pinterest and we spend so many hours scrolling for that perfect bookshelf or perfect decoration, but what happens is when we actually start decorating, we can get a little lost and we get a little overwhelmed with all the colors or maybe all the decorations that we are trying to incorporate. So go back and stick with your original plan. Tip number 4, start with your largest chunky pieces and then work your way down to your smaller items. For me personally, I always start with lanterns or vases or just big items like that, and then I'll just kind of work my way down to the little small details. Tip number 5, go ahead and add some height with books or stackable bins, boxes, DIY stamped books. Really anything that provides height is the way to go. It's a super easy tip. One thing I personally like to do is I like to go to the thrift store or dollar stores and just get some really pretty hardcover books, and I like to just layer them and then maybe add a plant on top or a vase or something cute, and I love that. I think height brings so much wonderful dimension to your bookshelf or your built-ins. Tip number 6. So the goal is to definitely add texture. So you don't want to get too heavy with textures because then it can cause a lot of anxiety into the room and it creates a lot of clutter. But adding texture with like some clays or some patterns is a wonderful feature to bring that extra little to your bookshelf style. Tip number 7. So you want to mirror your design on the bookshelf, but you don't necessarily want to copy them. So if I'm working on one side of the bookshelf, I will usually mirror that on the other side with maybe on the shelf right below it, kind of creating a diagonal flow to the bookshelf just to kind of bring it all together where it's not too overwhelming, but it still is a nice complement to both sides of the shelf. Tip number 8. You want to bring in some alternating heights, alternating depths, and bring a little bit of variety to your bookshelf. So if I'm working with a set of 3 vases, I might bring in maybe a set of 4 somewhere else. Or if I'm working with 2 round shapes, I will go ahead and bring another round shape on the other side. So the goal is to keep that really beautiful flow among your bookshelf. It's very similar to my last tip, but this is pretty much one of the most important tips you can walk away with. Tip number 9, when you feel like you are done decorating, go ahead and just take a step back and take a photo of it and then tweak off of your photo. Sometimes when you are looking at that space, you start getting overwhelmed with all the other things, or maybe there's mess or maybe there's clutter somewhere else. But when you look at the photo, it brings really, really good perspective and you can really see what feels a little awkward or maybe unbalanced. So tweak off your photos, and if you don't really know how to correct your bookshelf style, that is when you would phone a friend. So I actually brought in 2 friends of mine. One is Carolina and one is Lorraine. I love both of their styles. I think they have a really beautiful aesthetic to their home. So I brought them both in and let them just have free reign with my bookshelf because I was feeling a little stuck. What we came up with together was so beautiful. All right, last but not least, tip number 10. So this one is pretty basic, but it's probably the one that I follow the most, is I go ahead and keep my tags on. So everything that you see on my bookshelf, I've either thrifted it, I DIY'd it, or I purchased it at Hobby Lobby or at home, or I've already owned it. Sometimes it's really, really hard to make that commitment to buying something. So what I'll do is I'll keep the tag on, bring it into my space so I can visualize it. And once I feel like, yeah, this is it, I love it, I fell in love with it, I will make it permanent, cut the tag, and keep it. Now, keep in mind, what I typically like to do is I'll set a budget for myself. So if I feel like I'm over my budget, I will go ahead and DIY what I see, or I'll try to thrift it without compromising my original inspo. I hope you liked this video. I hope it was super helpful. These are seriously like the best 10 tips that you can do for styling any bookshelf or built-in that you have, or really just any part of your home. I feel like these are really 10 foolproof ways to have that perfect uncluttered look. Also, the two girls that helped me with styling my bookshelf. One of them, her handle on Instagram is at Carol Lately. She does some beautiful hand lettering art. And the other one is Lorraine from the Happy Housewife, and she actually is a fellow YouTuber. I featured her last week on my video, but be sure to check her out as well. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for viewing this video. And if any of these tips helped you, post a comment below to let me know which tip was the most helpful for you guys. Be sure to give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell because there's a lot more fun styling videos coming your way. Bye.